Hello, this is RN, and today we are going to view the demo of NProfile marketing software. This is more of a marketing tool that can be utilized for email marketing or direct marketing or contact marketing. So we'll certainly look into a couple of key features that this particular software offers and it might be helpful for you to set it up and utilize this software for your company, organization, or small store. So with that said, let me flip onto the main screen. So before going through the details of this particular software, you should be able to download the software from the link that is available in the site. Click on the download link, download the software, and install it by running or opening the file or double clicking on the setup file. Once you are done, you should be able to see a NProfile software link on your desktop. When you double click on that particular NProfile software, it will open up this screen and you will be able to see what I'm sharing right now. So we'll go through a couple of key setup steps, initial steps, and then run through some of the sample data entry so you can understand how you can manage customers, how you can manage news, leads, and partial surveys. So the key critical piece is to maintain customers, sending news and leads. So without wasting any much time, let us dive into the setup. Once you log in to the software using admin mode, double click on the app icon on your desktop. You will see a login screen. The login ID is admin and password is admin. So once you see this screen, click on help and contents, and you can view details about what to be set up on this particular software. So it's basically provided at a very high level flow. You can click on the NProfile flow. So this talks about when you start the software, what is the initial setup that you need to do, what is the base setup, and what are the key main process. We will follow all these three pieces together. So initial setup is more for the enterprise related details, emailing preferences, any kind of user setup or customization. The base setup is related to the customer news type, which is more of a group that you want to set it up. So you can align all the customers, news, leads, and those pieces accordingly by the groups. And you can set up the customers. You can create news, you can create leads, or some high-level surveys. Again, surveys not in a detailed way, but more of a snapshot, but particularly for news and leads, it will be very helpful. Once you create news, you can send news in text format. Once you create leads, you can market leads, which is more in a RTF format. So that has some features for rich text, and that means that you can include some graphics and things like that. Okay, so looking into these pieces, we'll go through one by one and we'll see how it will be helpful. Okay, let me flip on the screen. Now all we are going to do is click on the admin enterprise and click on the modify button here, and you can make changes to the information what you need to do that, and wherever, if it is for your store or company or enterprise, enter all the relevant information that is pertinent for your company if you want to store your company information. The next step is you can go to users, and this is more for user maintenance. The default admin is login ID is admin and password is admin. You can change that anytime after you set it up. The next piece is the license. This is more once you have purchased the license for software, you can update the product key that will enable you for full feature. Otherwise, most of the features are already enabled, so there are hardly any limitations with the trial version. The preference is a bit important, where you should set up the mail protocol. The default is Outlook setup. You can also set up the SMTP. If you own a domain like www.abc.com, then you need to put the SMTP server port name, server port ID, port number, the user from user ID, the password, whether it supports SSL or TLS. These configurations you should be able to get it from your web developer who manages, or the domain company who manages your domain. So if not, I think if you have a particular email and you have already set it up via Microsoft Outlook, then you should be able to select Outlook and you don't need to specify any of these details, and all of those emails can directly get routed and sent via Microsoft Outlook. And lastly, I think the customize, which is more the high level screen customization. Again, this is a very basic tool, very simple and basic tool that will be helpful for you to manage the customers and send out news and leads. So you can change the back color, texture, text font, size, color of this particular app or software. Do certainly explore on this. The next is a master. We talked about customer type. So what type of customers do you like to add there? Just hit add and make changes to that and hit save. So for now all fields are mandatory, so you need to put some or the other details here. So we have created one called franchise, which is Nandvarik franchise, just in case, so more of information only. So all of the customers will be tied up to this particular group that you create here. Okay, so the next is news type, and these are the different categories of news that you would like to maintain. So here you are defining categories. Once you define the categories, you should be able to tie that up with the news which you are creating. Okay, moving on, I think so we went through a bit of help, went through admin, all the masters. The next is the transaction. So on the customer, just hit add and create a new customer. So in this case we already created, so we'll modify it. We can just type the salutation, or you can type it by manual way as well, or you can select it, so whichever is preferred for you. Type the first name, last name, company, and what details you have it available with you for that particular customer. You should be able to enter all of those details. Try to fill in all the details as proper as possible. If you're trying to put some email, appropriate email is certainly needed. If you don't have the email, the emailing feature will not work out. So when you try to send the emails for news or any of those pieces, the email is critical here if you are sending via Outlook. So there has to be a relevant email. Now none of these fields have been mandatorily checked, because in some of the customers that we have seen, they want to maintain the customer's information even if the email is not there, and if they are not even doing the email marketing. So for the direct marketing, these kind of informations will be helpful at any point in time when you can generate the list, report and all to get the details of those customers. So okay, so moving on, the next is news, and we'll just modify this. You can create a new one as well, and here you have to select what is the type of news category that you have defined in the news section in master. So for now we are defining it as release. We'll leave it as this. There's more of a feedback request, and you can type in the email subject that you want. Reference is more of information only purpose, but the email subject is what goes on the email subject when you send the emails, and this is the message that will be formatted in the text format. Now there you can see on the right side the customer information. any of these information you can include. If you want to send out this email to a company, you can select the company, and that particular piece is going to come here. Say for example, you have selected the first name, you are saying hello to first name of the customer. Let me hit enter and I will select company. So the company is going to come up here. Don't change this braces and the format. This will automatically merge the company name from those customers where you want to send the email, and it will put the information here. If you try to mess around with this format of structure, then the appropriate substitute for your customer will not be able to come up. So make all the changes and save it, and that way when you send the email, say for example if there are five customers and they are associated with the companies, those five customers first name and last name, first name and the company name will come up, and individual email will go to them one after other. So that is more of a text format which is called as news. And if you need leads, you can create this. There's a default template that you can get it loaded, and once you do that, you can make changes to that. For example, so in case if you want to, let me make a particular section bold or in different way. For example, I'll hit enter and click edit on the message HTML, and then now say for example if I need to bold this view word into bold format, I can click on the bold. You can explore these options. You can change the font, link, bold and all. Hit on the bold, it will become bold. You just need to underline this, you can underline that, and if you need to put some other font or color, that also you can do that. So color and everything will come up in the font. So I want to make this as in red color. Click on the font, change the color to red. Whatever you select, either you can select from this as well, and say I'll try to select red and click OK. So this is the way how it is going to come. So the whole point is this is more in a formatted way rather than the text way. So the news is more in terms of text based message, and this is a formatted based message. The only difference is in news you can include the customer's information. Here you cannot include the customer's information. That's a slight difference. And once you are all done, just hit save and you should be done. So let me cancel this for now. The next option is surveys. Now the surveys are basically at a very high level. You can create a survey, and there are some restrictions in the survey. In today's time, I think most of the websites offer a lot of different and better options. So that's why this is extremely limited via this tool. And again, this is an offline tool. This is not an online tool that can be utilized. So so just in case if you want to have a basic survey, you can create that, and when you click on the survey script, it will create a script that you can host it on your website, domain website. Now the only one thing is you certainly need to work with your domain company or domain member who should be able to post the survey. So all you need to do is, once if it is posted, you can provide your website name, you can provide your website link where the survey is posted, and then you can send this email with the survey details to them. So when you click that, you will certainly get a response. Again, the response comes in as an email to you from the customer. So explore this option. Again, it is fully functional, but there are some limitations on number of queries and things like that, correct? And you also have to, there is a dependency on the domain as well as posting the survey on the domain. If you need any help on that, do certainly ask me and I can provide that. Send news and market lead are very critical. So send news, when you click this, say for example, I have created one news called price commission. If I need to send to a group, just hit add and select the price commission. Say for example, I have selected this one right now, price commission, and we select this group, which is the customer category. Once you do that, you can find all the relevant emails which are associated to this customer type, and when you hit OK, the criteria is built in, and those many number of customers. So the number of customers you see in this grid, for those many customers the email is going to go. So the whole point here is you need to ensure that the email ID for these customers are appropriate when you save it. If you are using for direct marketing, email is not mandatory, but other than that, if you are using for email marketing, having a proper email of the customer is important. The software does not check for proper email, but you have to ensure that the appropriate email is provided. Okay, so the next is once you hit send, it will take all the individual customers and merge it with the news and send it across directly, one by one. So that is more of a robot that will send it, and there you always need to check out for the limitations on how many emails you can send in a day in your domain or via Outlook. You can't blast this with hundreds or 500s of email at a time. So it is ideally preferred that when you send this news or something, it's better try to restrict in less than or equal to 10, and you may certainly have to run it in batches, but maybe 4 or 5 times in a day. If you do it, maybe you can send it to 100 customers. So the whole point is, if you try to clog it, ultimately you need to have a professional domain and email which supports those many number of emails. Again, there is no restriction on the software, but if it is blocked by your domain or normal emails, normal emails rather than professional emails, then you may not be able to send those many emails. That's the whole point. You need to verify with your domain as well as email setup. Software can certainly send any number, but blasting so many emails, because this is more of a robot and blast which sends out multiple emails to customers at the same time. So if you select it, say 5, 10 or 20, it will use the robot and just post all those messages real quick. So try it out for 5, 10, and then you will come to know. Okay, the next is market news, market lead. This is similar to send news, except as I said, the format is different for lead, which is in rich text, and you can include font size and all those pieces, but you cannot include any customer information. But it will go with the same format. When you try to say that you select a particular customer type and send it across, it will send out all those leads via robot. So is the case of email survey as well. And again, this is more of information. This software will not receive any of the survey responses. So that is something which you should be aware of, because this is only sending out a link to all the customers to say that here is the survey, and you respond to that survey. The responses will be received by your own website, which is not a part of this software. The website and domain are your own, and you have to coordinate with your own development company or website developer or domain expert to see that how that can be handled. But survey can be generated and it can be posted. So all it is doing is it is sending an email to say that the survey is in this particular link and respond to that survey. That's all. Okay, if you are receiving those surveys manually, then you can certainly update that as well. And again, this is irrespective of any customer, but you can put some remarks in customers information in remarks, and for each particular survey that you want to select, you can record the responses. There are some slight limitations on this, but other than that, it's more basic setup for survey particularly. Okay, so I think import export, import, you can import the customers, or if you need help we can help out. Export, you can export some of the data out of the software. Utilities, regular find and replace, if you want to find and replace in bulk customers information, you can do that. Report is you will get the list of all the customers. Say for example, you select any of the uh, group and say the franchise, so you will get all those information at any point in time. Now the other piece is you want to get the list of newsprint and things like that you can get it. Other than that, it is more for email or marketing and things like that. You want to get the email list, you want to print labels of customers, you can do that. For example, yeah, you can click any of this section and you print it and you can get that information. This is more of a label that can be coming up. Okay, and finally I think if you need to see country summary, say for example for my franchise, who are all the members who are part of countries, so this is what you will get. So the country-wise summary for the franchise, these are the customers who are there from these countries. Again, this is all sample data, but that kind of information you can get it. If you need type summary by country, you can also do that. So that's very specifically it. Again, do explore this software and it will be helpful for you to use on a small scale for customers to manage the CRM customers information, send news or leads and things like that. I hope this very small demo for this very simple and small software will be helpful for you. And if you feel that if this is a good tool you can utilize, you can certainly try it out, and if you like it you can use it. And if this particular demo has been helpful to you, that will be great and I'll feel happy for that. Thank you very much.